Welcome to Unleash the Network podcast, a podcast that aims to inspire and educate our listeners by sharing stories of MasterCard Foundation scholars and African Leadership Academy alumni who have gone on to make a positive impact in their communities and promote values of leadership, innovation, and entrepreneurship. David? David, thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me, Renatus. Thank you.
How have you been?
Whew, man, I've been grateful. that's the I think that's the word to put.
What are you up to?
As an account manager, it's in the name. I manage accounts, but not in the sense of financial accounts because our PR has a few aspects to do with finance, mostly in the day-to-day running. It's not a financial sector of industry. It's more in the communications field. And in managing accounts for an agency, I get to do the day-to-day, collaboration with the different clients that we have. And by clients is what I mean accounts. I manage them in terms of the expectations. I manage them in terms of what they need from us. Whatever we're doing in terms of a strategy, whatever we're doing in terms of an ask that they may have. I am the one who most likely is, producing the first draft, or I'm the one communicating with them about what needs what like this, if you will, the smaller things, the smaller, less big picture things that are going on. So if you will, it's I won't call it dirty work, but we are the ones. We are the first point of call. We are the first line of duty in terms of producing for the client. It's very client facing as well, of course, because you are managing their accounts. You get to speak to the client. You get to interact with them on an almost daily basis, whether it's in person or by email. But you're very involved, and you have to, of course, be very aware of what the client wants, either going forward, and I mean, the best account managers are the ones who are able to anticipate what the client will need going forward. So it involves a lot. It's I won't say it's the most demanding, at least right now, because I'm kind of new, but it does involve a lot of proactivity. It does involve a lot of getting ahead of the game, and just being very aware of people, re- relating with people, and just being very smart about what you do and how you do it. Yeah.
It seems like you're having a lot of conversations with people and really interacting with people. Well, I hope you're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
an
from time
introvert.
to time. Oh, you know what? I actually am. That's the interesting part. I think it's a big misconception about public relations. People always think that to be a PR guy, you have to be an extrovert, or you have to be the loudest in the room. Actually, no. I would actually argue that being an introvert probably serves you better because you get to listen more to
Ooh.
sorry, you get to listen more to what the client wants and deliver exactly or even better than the expectations. Sure, there's the element, because of course another thing is you're interacting with media and trying to get your client in different media spaces based on what they want to tell to the public. But you should be able to. I think the best part of it is being able to listen to what they want and being able to translate that into work that is exactly what they're looking for, before you go into the media spaces and you're doing your pitches and stuff like that to them. But yeah, no, I mean, to answer your question, no, I'm let me say I'm an extrovert when I need to be, but that's not my natural setting.
Mm.
No.
And that's a
Yeah,
good
yeah.
skill to learn because most of the times, I think listening is harder than speaking. Right? You have to
Yes.
consciously think about not speaking, but speaking, I
Hmm.
mean, anybody can really speak, right? So I think you're also learning a very
Right.
valuable skill when it comes to just sitting down, listening, and especially listening to what other people want, and also thinking of
Sure.
how you can help them or help them figure out what
Yeah.
they want if they don't know what
What
they
they
want.
want.
So for your
Exactly.
undergrad program, you did international relations, and then later
I
on for your
did.
grad school, public
Hmm.
relationship and corporate communications.
I think public relations narrowed down my international relations focus a little bit to more the corporate side of things, and to the more media, or quote unquote media and communications aspect of relations. Let me just say. Um, um, so international relations has always been my thing. I mean, that's what I grew up watching the news. Literally, my parents propped me in front of the news at like 2 years old, and I was taking that stuff in. Yeah, no, seriously, I don't know. I believe my mom had a plan for me to become the UN Secretary General very early on. I mean, it's not dead yet. Trust me. I'm
When
quietly
heading in the
we'll
same
quietly work
direction.
toward it. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. We
That's
can still
good.
get there. I mean, I'm not too old yet, but yeah. International relations has and will always be my first love. I mean, it's kind of like it's something that I'm really passionate about in terms of like just knowing how the world works, knowing what goes into the things that make the world work. And again, this idea for me, I'm a generalist. I like to know about everything everywhere all at once. If you know the movie, you know what I'm talking about. But I do like to know stuff. And that's what led me to do international relations in the first place. But coming out of college with an international relations degree, unfortunately, unless you are going straight into a master's program or by some connection, or either you've really done your part, the places that normally international relations people end up, which is your UN, your World Bank, these multilateral organizations, which is like the goal, is not as easy as just a snap of the fingers. So most international relations people go into different areas, including public relations. It's a big draw for international relations people because, like I said, the skill sets are the same: research, writing, a lot of presenting. Just there's a bunch of skill sets that just apply in both areas. And again, the shift came, at least for me, by accident. um it was quite chance. Again, like I say, for me, because I'm a believer, I believe it was grace. But some will call it luck, and that's okay. I met an alumni from my school, which was Skidmore College, my undergrad, which was Skidmore College, and I, we had a conversation. We had a mock interview essentially, and he liked me. We got along very well, and from there, I got a job interview at the company that he works for, which is called Joele Frank, which is based in New York City. We did the interview, secured the job, thankfully, right after undergrad. And after a few months, I think, no, actually a month or so working there, I was like, wait, this public relations thing is pretty cool. It's very interesting. And I think I fell in love with it ever since. So after 1 year working at Joele Frank, I got the opportunity to go to grad school. I was sponsored to go to grad school by the company, and they helped me to go to grad school after 1 year working for them. Um, and yeah, and that's how I managed to get like a fuller picture of PR, especially going more into the media side, because what we did at Joel Frank was more investor relations, very financial, very finance type stuff. But this brought me closer to the media side of things, and I really fell in love with it. And coming back to the continent, I was like, look, I mean, this is where God has put me. Let me see how good I can be at it, and let's see how far I can take it. And that's where we are today. That's how the gap at least was bridged. A lot of chance, but also I think a lot of providence in the sense of divine timing. I again, I didn't know what I was going to do with this, at least at the time. But by meeting this guy, by working at this company, going to grad school, I haven't had to complain much and be confused much about where I want to go in life, with this particular skill set. So the sky is the limit. I mean, I'm still very open to seeing where it'll take me, but it's so far so good, right? So yeah.
Well, it seems like you did a really good job for your company to be able to support you on your grad program.
Ah man, this story. Look, I think, you know what is that term that they call it? Imposter syndrome. that's that's what it that's I think I'm not going to owe my success to imposter syndrome, But I think there were a bunch of factors as to why I really put in a shift when I was at Joele Frank. I was at the time the only black male employee, in terms of like what how do you call it, the job that we were doing, in terms of being an account executive, and in terms of the different, the actual business that we were doing in PR. I was the only black male person there. We had other black employees, two other black employees. They were girls, but I was the only black male there. And not only that, I was also a foreigner. I was from Ghana. A lot of them. I mean, there were people that were international, but they weren't from Africa. Let me say, I was the only African there. Our mentality is different when we get opportunities like this. At least most of us. I really, yeah. I think the pressure that was placed on my own self, versus as well. I mean, people would come. I think in hindsight also, I was just young as well, so there was a lot of anxiety already. There was a lot of pressure that was all self-inflicted. But then also I was in a. I think I feel sometimes I feel to give credit to the fact that I was in a very tough environment. It was very intense. And for a reason, because they were one of the best in terms of what they do in the US. And I mean, if you a quick look at their awards and the kind of role they play in financial public relations in the US, Joele Frank is at the top at what they do. So that was the kind of environment that I had gotten into as a black Ghanaian African guy. The pressure was worse. So ish. So I really had to put in a shift without really thinking about like my performance and stuff. Like, I was just like working, bro. Like, I just wanted to be good at this because I also liked it. So I think even though there were times where I was like, yo, this is so much, and like, yo, anxiety used to be bad. I can't even lie. Anybody who works in New York corporate will tell you that, like, bruh, it's just not. It's unrealistic sometimes. It's too intense. But I liked it. I liked, because these were things that we dreamt about when we were kids. You see those movies, you see them going. I wasn't wearing no suit, but like, you see them going with the suits. And like, I guess, but I was born in '96, so I was watching a few of the movies were a little bit older. So people used to wear full suit and ties and hold briefcases to go into the office. But I was doing that, and I was like, there's no way I'm passing this up. Like, I wanted to be that guy and stay that guy, right? So I think I was putting in the shift, and they were noticing. Sometimes, I mean, and again, this is why I talk about grace, because sometimes people do even more, and they're not even noticed. Like, it's it's not designed. It's not always going to work, per the rule book. But for me, I'm really grateful. Again, that word grateful, to know that people were noticing this, and they decided to take a chance on a Ghanaian boy who came to work for their firm. And I'm sure you know the way the US works. The H1B situation. Yeah. I mean, I was doing my first year on OPT, but I didn't get H1B, and which is why they were ready to put money down for my grad school. And that's what happened. They were like, yo, here you go, man. Just do your thing, and they believed in me enough to do that. So that was huge. That was huge for me. I did not think that they were noticing this, but I think for me, it just taught me a lesson. Like, look, when you put your head down and get to it, no matter how many people look, it's things. Sometimes there are injustices. I completely understand that. I think that you have to speak out when things are being done wrong. But I think largely, and by the majority of the time, when certain people are just complaining just to complain, unfortunately, that's just the way the world is. Everybody's going to have a problem. It's important, especially when you know who you are, when you know where you're from, to just get along with it and just keep doing what you're doing. Because the rewards, if you're in a good place as well, the rewards will really show. So yeah. That's I think that's the biggest, that's one of the biggest favors I've been done, that I've had in my life. And yeah.
I like how you spoke about imposter syndrome, right? Because most of the times it holds us down, right? But then for you, it was really different because you used it to your advantage and it really helped you achieve a lot of things.
Yeah, yeah.
For most people, before they go to college, it's like a life decision.
I really believe that people should be more open to the fact that, things change, and that you don't have to be stuck doing what you think you're supposed to be doing, right? I mean, again, let me be very empathetic, because there's some where family pressures come into it. You realize that, and if you're coming from a certain type of family, there's only a certain type of thing that you have to go into. Some based off parents' expectations, but also some based off like factors that are at home. Like, you may be coming from a poor family, you may be coming from a family that you need to do a certain type of job in order to provide for the family. And you're not allowed to explore. There are factors such as those, and for those ones, look, there's not much you can do about that. But for those who do have the privilege to choose, for those who do have the privilege to get around, open your mind, man. Look, you cannot um wed yourself to something that you don't even know, especially in high school. People think that you should have everything figured out in high school. Man, you're 18. Like, life just started. Like, I mean, I'm saying this now because back in high school, I mean, I think we are, I mean, especially as ALA students, this, man. As ALA students, you're supposed to have it all figured out. Supposed to. Because you're the future leaders of Africa. I mean, like, come on. But at the same time, that's just not it. It's not true. And you figure out, I think that's what actually leads to some really getting messed up a little bit in college, because sometimes you realize, wait, I do not want to do this at all. But you really wedded in your head that, like, or put in your head that, like, this is what I'm supposed to do. Come hell or high water, this is where I'm gonna go. I mean, resilience is cool and all, but man, if this is not what your heart wants, or this is not where your destiny is supposed to be, don't force it, man. Really, I think that if there's something I could tell, if I could be able to speak to all the high school graduates at the same time, it's, look, man, be open-minded. Just allow yourself to experience whatever learnings that you can where you are. Listen to people. You're curious about a program that you saw a sign-up sheet for in the quad, or no, okay, well, quad because ALA, but like in on a poster somewhere, you wanted to, it's like, this sounds interesting. Quantum mechanics. I mean, and you're like an art student. Oh, snap, that sounds cool. Go, like, check it out. You could literally, your whole life would change. Coding, C++. Oh, cool. Okay, go for it. Like, check it out. You don't be afraid to change your life. Like, I honestly, don't be afraid to change your life. Don't be afraid of what life has to offer. People, look, I mean, I can't, there's too many examples of people who are like running things right now and who are doing major things in life, where they started off doing something completely outside of what they're doing today. You just have to Google it to find out. But that's just how life is. Anything can change within a minute. So really be open to that, man. That's what I have to say about that.
Go out there and explore the world. Figure out what you like and what you don't. I mean, and if you're doing something you don't like, drop it. You only live once and find something else.
Yeah, 100%. Exactly.
And I think if there's one thing that the people listening to this should take away, is just that. Right? Go out there and explore and figure out what you want, do what you enjoy. If you don't enjoy something, drop it out because you don't have enough time, and just explore. You're not tied to one thing.
You have to be very wise. You have to be very thoughtful about the way you're exploring. It's definitely a free roam, but nothing in life is ever free. You get what I mean? Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you have to be very, very smart about it.
Go and feel free to explore, but remember the freedom of exploration comes with responsibilities.